Hello, this is New Wave of British Heavy Metal.com. Today is the 11th of November 2020, and here we'll take a quick look at the quite remarkable Saracen, who of course started life back in the original New Wave of British Heavy Metal days with a debut album in 1981 and one that came out subsequently, Heroes, Saints and Fools. Before we get into that, if I might make the usual plea for a favour, and that's if you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, please. That would be a big help and properly appreciated. Thank you. Anyway, Saracen, what can we say about them? What a band. They originated back in the original New Wave of British Heavy Metal days, of course, with the debut album came out in 1981, and they prowled around the Derbyshire area of the UK, which of course was also home to other superb bands from those days as well, such as Witchfind and a few others. The Saracen's debut album, Red Sky, for me, is arguably one of the finest examples of a new wave of British heavy metal band from back then. It's not only is it heavy as it needs to be, but it branches out into some sort of like proggy pomp rock territory as well, and featuring the excellent guitar work from Rob Bendelow and the remarkable voice of Steve Bettany. It's excellent stuff. You know, no mistake, Red Sky rocks hard like it should do, but such is the expanse and talent of the songwriting and musicianship in the band, and those journeys into that prog pomp melodic style as well make for a really excellent mixture of songs. Red Sky was a success for Saracen back then. It broke into the top 50 album chart, for example. Check out in particular the opening song, We Have Arrived, a hard-paced sort of spacey rocker. Brings all the aforementioned elements into play. You know, it rocks hard. It's got a bit of pomp. It's got a bit of prog going on, and an atmospheric, otherworldly feel to it as well, given how the synths as well, it's kind of like spooky a bit as well, which is quite fitting given what the song's all about. Then we've got other outstanding tracks such as Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Heroes, Saints and Fools, Jekyll and Hyde, and all the others, serving to show what a really phenomenal debut album Red Sky was for Saracen. Bettany's vocal range is wide and expansive. He can do it all, this guy. Bendelow's guitar, crisp, clear, powerful. The solos are measured. They don't waste a note. They aren't flashy for the sake of it, but it's remarkable stuff. And so the keys and the synths complement the guitar with those proggy drums and bass going on to complete the mixture. Really solid, excellent album that's well, up there with anything else that came out at the time. Really is. Now, you would have expected after such an excellent debut that Saracen would be straight up in the top league, wouldn't you? Straight up at the top of the tree. Sadly not. Back then, that there were lineup changes and things kind of fell apart. They did put out a second album, Change Your Heart, which I'll look at in another video because that's pretty good as well. That followed Red Sky a few years later. But after that, Saracen sort of like went off the grid completely, just disappeared, kind of thing. But a few decades later, and right out of nowhere, no one saw it coming. They did resurface again with the album Heroes, Saints and Fools, and that's a cracker in its own right as well. It featured some reworked versions of songs from Red Sky, together with some new stuff as well, and that new stuff is indeed very good. We've got Crusader that starts it off, classic Saracen sound, epic delivery, big driving riff. Rock of Ages, and a punchy rocker in its own right. No More Lonely Nights is a bit of a heavy foreigner feel to it. Ready to Fly for me is the highlight as the band really cut loose, an extended effort with Bendelow making his guitar work just effortless stuff. So both Red Sky and Heroes, Saints and Fools are available in a double CD package. I would encourage you to not to miss these. Whether you remember Saracen from back then, as you know, they've remained one of my favourite bands ever since 1981, or whether you just want to check out an exciting new band that you might not have heard about before, have a look at Saracen. You know, Red Sky, all right, came out in 1981. That's pushing 40 years ago as I'm recording this. It's as fresh now as it was then. It stands up with anything back then, and it stands up with anything you care to name now. Superb album from a band that really should have been massive. Just buy it really. I mean, Saracen they've not done much over the years, but like Vox in Excelso, excellent album. That really is probably the best one they've done, and that reminds me I'll have to look at that in another video, won't I? But for now, we'll leave it at that for now. Red Sky, debut album, fantastic. Heroes, Saints and Fools, the subsequent album that nobody really saw coming. Again, excellent stuff. As always, there's a link in the description underneath the video to the album on Amazon if you wanna look at it there. And there's also a link to the blog post back on the website if you'd like to read that. So check those out as well. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care. Oh, and by the way, yeah, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you go. All right, thanks, bye.